The smash hit series Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba has been taking the anime, manga, and even the film industries by storm ever since 2019, breaking all manner of records along the way. So, with the Western release of the Demon Slayer movie hitting theaters on April 23rd and digital platforms on June 22nd, we thought we would take this opportunity to break down everything you need to know about Demon Slayer so that even the uninitiated can hop aboard the Mugen Train. And if you don't know what any of that means, don't worry, that's why you're here. We're going to explain who the Demon Slayers are, why demons need to be slain, and what's the deal with the dude in the boar mask. But first, just know that the movie takes place right after the first season, so to get you caught up on what you need to know for the movie, we kind of have to spoil the events of the anime series. If that's an issue, look, just go watch Demon Slayer. It's on pretty much every available streaming platform. It's got a great English dub, and just take our word for it. The story of Demon Slayer revolves around Tanjiro Kamado, a young man who has his life changed forever when he returns home from an errand to find nearly his entire family brutally murdered by a demon. Only his little sister Nezuko appears to survive the attack, though as a result, she turned into a demon herself and tried to attack Tanjiro. Despite the vicious attack, it's clear to Tanjiro that Nezuko is still somewhere in there, which is why when he gets saved by a member of the Demon Slayer Corps, he pleads with them to spare his sister, taking responsibility for both her own well-being as well as the safety of those she comes into contact with. To that end, Tanjiro seeks out Sakonji Urokodaki, a former Demon Slayer, and trains under him. Over the course of his training, Tanjiro strengthens his body, mind, and learns a special breathing skill that allows him to use gorgeously animated sword techniques. Once he's all trained up, Tanjiro puts his sister in a box that he straps to his back so she doesn't melt in the sun, as, demons tend to do, and sets off on a journey to restore Nezuko's human form and find justice for his family. But let's slow down a bit because we're getting ahead of ourselves. Before that, let's talk about the Demon Slayer Corps. As you'd expect, the Demon Slayer Corps is an organization devoted to slaying demons, one that isn't officially recognized by the government, but is nevertheless the only group capable of bringing demons down. Tanjiro ends up in the ranks after surviving through final selection, a grueling trial that had him survive for 7 nights on a mountain that is teeming with demons, trapped there by demon slayers themselves. It's not a fun test. And in fact, very few Demon Slayer candidates actually live to tell the tale, let alone become Demon Slayers. After defeating a grotesque demon that had eaten Urokodaki's previous disciples, Tanjiro passed along with 3 others, Genya, Kanao, and Zenitsu. Thus, he officially became a Demon Slayer and got a cool color-changing sword for his trouble, which he quickly broke.
How dare you snap my precious sword in 2! You got a lot of nerve, boy!
Fortunately, he was able to get a new one, but not before suffering the wrath of his swordsmith. Among the Demon Slayer Corps is an elite group of warriors known as the Hashira, a group that remains largely shrouded in mystery, but some key Hashira that you should know about are Gyu Tomioka, the water Hashira who saved Tanjiro at the beginning of the series, Shinobu Kocho, the insect Hashira who plays an important role in Tanjiro's training, and Kyojiro Rengoku, whom Tanjiro is looking to speak to in order to find out more about his family's own fire-breathing technique. He's also on the poster for the movie and will no doubt play a huge part aboard the Mugen Train. The rest of the Hashira will definitely get some time to shine in the forthcoming 2nd season, but for now, just know that they exist, they're extraordinarily powerful Demon Slayers, and Sanemi, the Wind Hashira, was a big old jerk to Nezuko.
Ooh, this guy sucks. I hate you!
Tanjiro and Nezuko's journey is not one that they have to go alone, thankfully. And over the course of their journey, they're joined by 2 major companions. First up, we've got Zenitsu. Zenitsu is, well, he's whiny.
Ouch! That hurts! Stop!
He's got 0 confidence.
I'm so scared, terrified, frightened!
And he always expects death to be right around the corner.
My brains are gonna get sucked through my ears while I'm still alive!
But when he gets backed up into a corner and has no choice but to fight, he has a tendency to pass out and let another self take over, which is where his true dormant strength is shown. And it's just about as impressive as anything else we've seen so far in Demon Slayer. He's also got it bad for Nezuko, something that is going it's going great.
Zenitsu, why are you following us around like this? Stop it!
And then on the flip side of that is Inouske. While Zenitsu has very little faith in his own abilities, Inouske, on the other hand, has supreme confidence in his strength and will charge forward to challenge just about anyone in his way. He wears a hollowed-out boar's head which masks his ironically pretty boy face and wields two razor-sharp swords that he intentionally breaks in by smashing them against rocks in order to get that jagged look. Despite initially wanting nothing more than to kill Tanjiro, thanks to his immense bloodlust against anyone he deems a worthy challenger, eventually Inouske is won over not only by Tanjiro's strength, but his kindness and warmth, something that Inouske really has never experienced before in his life. Zenitsu and Inouske eventually tag along with Tanjiro to complete missions as fellow Demon Slayers, and over the course of their time together, they end up becoming close friends. There's a really fun dynamic between the trio, with Tanjiro being the level-headed big brother figure, balancing out the huge emotions that come from both Inouske and Zenitsu. Now that we've talked about Tanjiro's friends, it's time to talk about his enemies. Muzan Kibutsuji is the big bad of Demon Slayer. He's both the target of Tanjiro's revenge and his only hope to return Nezuko back into her human form. He is essentially the progenitor of the demon, as he was the first human to ever be turned into a demon more than 1,000 years ago. Thus, within him resides the blood that is able to turn humans into demons, and presumably, the knowledge of how to turn a demon back into a human. Much to Tanjiro's surprise, Muzan has been living casually among humans, and even has a human wife and child. In the first and only time the two have crossed paths, Tanjiro openly declared war on Muzan, prompting Muzan to stealthily transform an innocent passerby into a demon and escape without having his true identity revealed to either his family or those around him. The resulting encounter infuriates Muzan, and Tanjiro's unique Hanafuda earrings cause some bad memories to surface regarding another Demon Slayer from the past who also wore the same earrings. Needless to say, after this moment, Tanjiro shoots up to the top of Muzan's hit list. And that's not a place you want to be, because at Muzan's disposal are the 12 Kizuki, 12 powerful demons ranked in order of their power. Tanjiro has fought only one so far, the 5th ranked of the lower 6 in what is arguably the best fight of the show up to this point. And if you ask me, I'm just gonna say I think it's one of the best fights of all time.
見えた月の糸今ここで倒すんだたとえ相打ちになったとしても
Upon Rui's defeat, Muzan becomes enraged at the weakness of the lower 6, and begins to question why they even exist in the first place. So he eliminates them all, with the exception of one, a creepy man named Enmu, who impresses Muzan with his resolve, and instead of getting murdered, he receives a power-up in the form of an infusion of Muzan's blood, with the promise of more if he's able to eliminate Tanjiro and the Hashira. So, to recap, Tanjiro's family gets murdered by demons, except for his sister, who is now a demon that lives inside a box and is all kinds of adorable. In order to get strong enough to kill the person responsible and turn Nezuko back into a human, Tanjiro joins the Demon Slayer Corps and makes some quirky friends. There's a bunch of cool sword fights and absolutely beautifully animated water effects, and the final episode ends with Tanjiro, Nezuko, Zenitsu, Inouske, Rengoku, and the newly superpowered up Enmu all aboard the titular Mugen Train from the movie, which is no doubt a recipe for impending disaster. Now you should be mostly caught up with Demon Slayer in time for the Western release of Mugen Train, which will likely lead directly into the second season. But obviously, there's nothing quite like watching it for yourself, so take our recommendation and go check out Demon Slayer. Hey, you made it to the end. Thanks for watching. For more anime, make sure to check out our videos on anime coming to Netflix in 2021 and our picks for the most anticipated anime of 2021 as well. And for everything else, keep it here on IGN. Bye-bye.